The city is prattling as the moon brightens and Teddy James lopes towards his shift on the river, his slim shoulders hunched against the cold and his hands stuffed into his pockets. He keeps his eyes low and slows only to skirt carefully around the dim umbrellas of light cast by the gas lamps. He doesn't want to be late. Factory workers boot thump past parlour windows and chimney sweeps gather on the pavement outside the townhouses on the crescent. Sellers of fruits, ceramics, pies, flowers and clockwork toys set up their stalls on the square near the cathedral, clouding the bitter air with their greetings and laughter. Though he would like to pause and buy an apple and a hot steak pie, Teddy does not lift his chin from inside his green wool scarf to speak to anyone. The sooner he starts and finishes his shift, the quicker he can get to Betsy's. They've agreed to meet at 6 o'clock, which will give them 1 hour before sunrise. Teddy does not think an hour will be enough, but Betsy had insisted. "I'll never get away from Mrs. S any earlier," she'd said. "You know I won't." And she was probably right. Henrietta Salzburg allows Betsy to rent her attic room in exchange for 6 12-hour shifts a week in the laundry. Salzburg Laundry is the busiest in Copperwell, and every time Teddy calls there for her, Betsy is tearing her white pinafore off, throwing it aside, and brushing damp strands of hair back from her forehead, having already worked on. "It's a perfect misery," she says, about her job, bending over the enormous wooden barrels, dropping the clothes into the steaming water, scrubbing and scrubbing until her hands throb and her pitch black curls cling around her neck and ears. But Teddy knows that despite Betsy's protestations, the work is good for her. It helps to expend a fragment of the energy that bounces around inside her. If Mrs. S made her work 7 shifts a week instead of 6, she might never have come up with her plan. "It's been a year, Teddy," she'd insisted. "A whole year. I have to see it again. Don't you want to?" He did. She knew that. But so does everyone else. And Teddy cannot imagine what makes him and Betsy and Effie so special that they might get away with it. Teddy James, Betsy Blue and Effie Hart have mischieved around the city together since they were 8 or 9 years old. It started when Effie, walking along Cathedral Row with her father, had spotted Betsy pilfering a bag of peaches from a costermonger's cart and distracted her father, Jeremiah Hart, so that he would not notice the theft. Betsy, seeing what Effie had done, had insisted that she and Teddy follow the girl home. It was Betsy and Teddy's first time on Berliners Square, and they'd waited outside the hedgerows. They'd eaten the peaches until it was dark, then thrown peach stones at the window, through which they'd seen Effie draw her curtains. They didn't know her as Effie then, of course, but they had persuaded her to clamber down the drain pipes and disappear into the night with them all the same. Being posh and ladylike, she'd likely never done such a thing before. Still, Effie had been willing to follow Betsy's lead as they explored the city rooftops and climbed trees in the elm gardens, and Betsy had decided that she must be both brave and worth knowing. Though Betsy had intended to say thank you just that one time, they were soon calling for Effie 3 or 4 nights a week. Always they found her ready for adventure. But everything is different now, since the shadows shifted. What Betsy has planned would be more than mischief. It would mean breaking the law.